You found the Groom Pod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Suzy, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
That would be me. So, Suzy, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've just been stuck in the house because it's been raining. So I run from the house to the trailer and I work, and then I run from the trailer to the house and I come home. It's just been miserable and yucky. And these are the darkest days. It's dark at about 4:20. And it's light at about 8:30 in the morning. So we don't have a lot of daylight. It starts really darkening up, especially if it's raining, at about 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, which is why we have so many people with seasonal affective disorder in the Northwest, are these super dark, constant raining days. But, that's what brings our green in the springtime.
That's right.
So welcome to episode 466 of the Groom Pod. We recorded on December 7th, 2025 in Snohomish, Washington and Greenville, South Carolina. This podcast is brought to you by our kind sponsors, Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Groomer, and Stasco. And if you guys would like to support the show, which we really appreciate because it is expensive to host this show, you can do so at our website, thegroompod.com, and use the donation button to send Barbara some money so that she can do some fun experiments with neat stuff. Or you can join us on Patreon and support the show monthly. This week, we're reviewing our Groomer to Groomer December 2025 issue. What's New is brought to you by Groomer Software. Are you a professional groomer looking to spend less time on paperwork and more time with your clients? If you haven't found Groomer, you're missing out. Groomer is an all-in-one software solution built specifically for your grooming business. Whether you run a single mobile unit or manage multiple shops, they've got you covered. Imagine having 24-hour online booking, simple forms, smart routing for mobile stops, and integrated credit card processing. Plus, it includes automated reminders and seamless integration with Google Calendar and QuickBooks. Everything you need and the best customer service around. Stop juggling systems, go mobile, go house call, or go to the shop. Groomer handles it all. And because you're a listener of the show, Groomer is giving you a free month. Just enter the coupon code GroomPod22 at checkout. Check out Groomer today and simplify your business. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. We're starting our 12th year.
Woo!
So impressive that we continue to put out content after 12 years. That's cool. I'm impressed. Here, pat on the back for us.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'll take that pat on the back.
Pretty
Because
cool.
I know it requires a commitment. We like to make it look easy, but it is a job.
Yes, and constantly changing, which is good because it keeps me growing new neural pathways in my brain by having to learn how to do new stuff.
Oh, you know what? I think that's one of the secrets to my healthy old age is that I keep learning something every day.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And you're my model for how to age gracefully. So how to fight it with a good bit of verve. Yeah, no, you're my example. So I wanted to ask you a question, Barbara.
Okay.
We're circling back to funky Poodle secret sauce hair oil stuff.
Yeah.
I've been messing around with it in all kinds of different ways. And the thing that I like the most about it is I love the way it smells.
Right.
Usually, my regular detangler is Stasco oatmeal protein spray that smells like apple. And then I put some extra The Max in there. Can I put hair oil in to smell up The Max for my extra bottle of non-smelling? I have the non-smelling one. I carry both. I keep the one bottle of a little bit extra conditioning type of a spray and then the bottle of just The Max. Could I do that? Could I put the two together? What do you think? Would it give me a little extra conditioning? I know it smells fantastic.
You want to make the secret sauce into a detangling sauce.
Yes.
Just Yes, you can do that.
So
You can try. Now, you're going to try because here's the thing. Might blow up on you. Well, it's not going to blow up. It just might not work because the secret sauce is an oil base and the Max is a water base.
okay.
So you might need something like polysorbate 20 or lecithin to be an emulsifier to emulsify the Max into the oil system, water into oil. I can research that
Please
for you a
do.
little bit. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen is that you would have to just be shaking it up all the time, and that would hurt your hands. you
So
know.
I've got a Fluorosol bottle and I filled it with the Max with my normal dilution, a little bit of the Max and some water. And then I just took a squeeze of the funky hair oil stuff, the funky poodle stuff. And it's a little brown. So it turned the entire mixture brown when I shook it up, just slightly, I wouldn't call it brown. I would say ecru. I mean, just a little tiny bit of off color. And I sprayed it
Yeah.
on the horse's mane right after I shook it because I did. Then I set it down and it didn't really separate out, although I could see it was kind of heading in that direction, but it was not separating immediately. So then I brushed her mane out. And unlike when I put too much of it in the very first time I tried it, combining it with the silicone did a great job on her mane. And it's been raining on there, and she lays down and rolls around in all the gunk on the ground. And she has not had a dreadlock since I did that. But I don't want to use it on somebody else's pet unless I make sure that it's an okay thing to do.
What was your base?
Water in the Max.
What might work is to take some of the show season. I'm giggling because we're combining sponsor
All
products
over
here.
the place.
All over the place. But that's what groomers do. And if you take some show season hypo conditioner, use that as a base, add the oil and the Max to that and shake it up. The emulsifier in the conditioner may just roll up the oil.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because today we're going Christmas caroling on horseback, and I stunk her up real good yesterday when I brushed her out. Her mane is so flowing and beautiful. The products that we advertise, I really believe in all of them, and I use them on my horse, and I use them on our cats, and I use them on everybody else's pets. But they're really good products, and boy, I can tell. I can tell that I'm using good stuff on her, and we're going to stink up everybody behind us. They're all going to go, "What is that smell?" And I'm going to say, "It's us. We're the air freshener. It's us."
And you'll actually be freshening the air outside.
If they don't like it, it's not too much.
Too bad I'll have to go to the rear of the pack.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Let me know.
I will. So my second update
Yeah.
is the shampoos I got from Nature's Specialties. I really like them. I don't want to kick them out of bed because they include every ingredient that's ever been in the product, in the history of the product on their label.
I think that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like when I read the label and I look at it. But I'll tell you what, the Sugar Pup Fairy actually has a smell. I must have had a snotty nose that day, and it's delightful, and people are commenting on it. So I know that they're noticing, and that's all I want. I just want to do something different for the holidays. So I'm going to give my seal of Suzy approval. And I also realized I was listening to some other podcasters talk about podcasting, or actually radio broadcasts. If the hosts agree on everything, it's not fun to listen to. So I've decided I'm going to be a proponent of the Stinky Nature Specialty Shampoo so that we can disagree on something, because we really don't disagree on very much.
We don't disagree on very much, but that's why we're such good partners. But we do have different fragrance preferences.
For sure.
I like the kind of simple and food related type fragrances. And I
Okay, I'm
and I
12. What can I
like
say?
the sophisticated perfumey fragrances. Well, speaking of fragrance, and I know we're going to get into the issue of groomer to groomer, I once again, every time I read the groomer to groomer, I get drawn in to the ad for the pistachio dream shampoo, and all the more so now because I'm browsing BuzzFeed does a lot of like reviews of different things, and they did a review that had a pistachio body lotion in it that they said was going to sell out, and it was like really hot on, oh, help me, Susie,
TikTok?
TikTok. It was really
How did I freaking. Okay, wait a minute. You have to recognize that I pulled that out of the air for you.
good. Thank you.
I had no idea where you were going.
Thank you.
It just came by ESP. I love it.
You are such a good partner. I know you can just like feed my brain just what the little blank areas need. So
That,
thank you.
yes.
TikTok. This was a product that was very popular on TikTok. So normally that wouldn't sell me on something. It was noted for its great fragrance, and it's a pistachio fragrance. So I bought the lotion, and oh my God,
Really?
I love it. And I use it as a hand lotion a lot. I do it like on my hands before I go out. And people smell it and they say, "What is that?" And I say, "Oh, that's my pistachio lotion. It's really good." So I saw that ad again for the pistachio dream shampoo, and I thought, "Oh, maybe I'll get it this time."
Okay.
So I went there. It was a big no for me because their ingredients, they're completely descriptive ingredients. Contains a surfactant, contains a co-surfactant, contains a esoteric surfactant.
That's no good.
I just like described the thing, and not a single identity of, except for the fragrances and the additives at the very end. And I thought, no, I cannot, in good conscience, buy that. So it's called Crown, and it's really a brand that features long-lasting fragrances, and I know that's important to some people.
Why, yes. It is.
But getting back to the Funky Poodle, I think having a hair oil, especially a light oil like sunflower oil that just like immediately absorbs into the hair and doesn't leave it stringy or greasy, if you use the right amount, I think having another means of fragrancing dogs after grooming is valuable. So instead of spraying with the cologne, you would pour a few drops of the Funky Poodle secret sauce in your palm, rub them together, and then just rub your hands over the dog, and you fragranced your grooming.
I have a whole delusion of now calling them up and ordering like 10 different fragrances to use for oils. But I know I can't use that much, but I'm definitely going to place an order. So, yeah.
Well, but sometimes you need to please yourself.
Yes.
Because you having fun while you're grooming is really a part of success model. Having fun on the job just makes the biggest difference on your survival.
So true. It also attracts really good clients. If you're having a good time and it shows, and you've got joy in your heart every time you come back, in my case, to the house with the dog, and I tell a story over what happened in the grooming trailer, and it brings great joy to them, and it's like addictive. And then you're dealing with people who are sharing in the joy of what you do because you're doing it with their special person, their special little friend. So very cool. What I think we should do is move into our first appointment where we discuss our reading of the Groomer to Groomer.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go.
We've been doing this for like 3-4 months now. So I'm going to look back and see how the listenership is on these episodes and see if people like it or not, because nobody's commented about it. So I'm not sure if they go, oh, it's the Groomer to Groomer and just pass it by, or if they're listening intently and joining us in our discussion. I'm not sure what's going on. So,
Oh, yeah. Are we just like masturbating over here or are we?
I'm willing to take a hard look to see if we want to keep doing this.
We always want listener opinions, even though we might laugh at them. Yeah. You want you to like what we're talking about. Although sometimes there are some people for whom it doesn't matter at all. They just want to hear us talk. Okay, so listen, I thought this was a very kind of a lightweight issue.
Okay, hang on. We have to pay our bills. Okay, we'll get right on to our first appointment after this.
Hey, groomers, it's time to have some fun with fragrances. Show season will help the holidays happen with their crazy selection of holiday smells. Get several bottles of spray and let your clients choose. Fragrance sprays include Christmas spice and Merry Cranberry, Holiday Hug, and Hot Buttered Rum. Sugar Cookie and Pumpkin Spice come with their own matching shampoos. Pick up a bottle of sparkle spray for your party animals and some aromatherapy for your entryway. Show season has you covered. Make show season your holiday headquarters.
Did you know that Stasco has come out with a couple of new products? First, there is the Stasco Oatmeal Protein Conditioner. This conditioner provides exceptional body and manageability and super shiny finishes. And it has a wonderful apple scent that I love. Great in the recirculator, too. And they have a new matching protein conditioning spray, dematting, anti-static conditioning, and finishing all in one, just like the original Stasco spray, but with that delicious apple fragrance. Look for these new products at trade shows and your favorite distributors like Cascade Grooming Supplies. Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. All right, it's on to Groomer to Groomer. The first thing I noticed was, and I'm not picking on this person per se, but sometimes you need to stick in your lane, talk about things that you actually have known experience in. And our friend and buddy, Dr. Cliff, came in with the dreaded drudgery of the holiday season article. And I know he's had a vet hospital, but I'm not sure he's ever had a grooming shop. So I'm not sure why he's talking about business stuff. It was confusing to me. So I know we're not huge fans of his, I get it, but I try to go in with an open mind. And the first thing I thought is, why is he writing about this? Did you have an opinion on that?
I didn't have an opinion on that because I didn't notice who it was written by. But I passed it as a meh. It just didn't seem to reflect a real groomer's experience. Unlike Chris Bear Anthony's article, you could tell she's been through it.
Yes.
She reflected my experience. But the article by Dr. Cliff, it just sort of felt like just some kind of AI bullshit. Excuse me, but that was it. I did like the Measuring Success article by Amanda McGrath.
Yes.
I mean, it was about measuring success of holiday add-on services.
Yes.
Measuring success is important in having a successful business, because if you're not keeping track of what's selling, what's working, what services are in demand, what's a meh, like you can't reshape and evolve your business forward. This was a good exercise in doing some measuring of success. And I support that article. I thought it was good. I could have used some more examples, but that was okay. It was fairly comprehensive. So I kind of looked up Amanda McGrath, because it's like I read the article and then I said, "Oh, who wrote that?" And so I go back and I said, "Oh, okay." So she's basically a feline groomer, and
Yep.
and she has an Etsy business that's called House of Bones. I looked for House of Bones all over the internet and finally found her on Etsy, where she has some really cute stickers, bumper or wherever stickers that are, like shed happens, brush it off. I love that. I'm going to get a shed happens, brush it off, and stick it on my car, because it's a philosophy of life kind of a message. I like that.
Well, I'm a big proponent of doing the math, and this is basically what this whole article is about, is knowing what things cost you so that you can effectively use them in your business to be successful. And I think anytime you can measure that, anytime you take a magnifying glass out and look at your numbers, I think you get valuable information about your business. And I totally am into that. So I saw a shirt on the internet with the girl, wow, I don't know her name. Hang on. She does all the different dog breeds. Her last name is like Canelo.
Oh, I know. She makes them up. You mean, yeah, she's got long brown hair?
Yes, and she's
Yeah.
real cute and she's clever, and I like watching her videos. Although sometimes they get a little repetitive, but she gets my vote definitely. She had a shirt on that says, "Kiss your dog for me," on the back or something like that. And I love that because I tell everybody when I'm talking to them on the phone, we'll give a kiss to Josie for me or whatever. So I thought that was a really cool shirt. It's fun to have that kind of stuff. And I don't know if that was like her work shirt or whatever, but very cool.
I'm going to get a bunch of stickers, even though I don't have a salon anymore. I'm going to put some on my car and put some on my refrigerator because I think that's cute. I will have a couple of more things to say about that article. And one of them is where we're going to find the big crisis is in time spent upselling an add-on service. And I suggest that if you're going to have staff soliciting add-ons, that you have practice sessions so that staff can develop a little script for themselves. Each person ought to write their own script and then just get used to saying it and not saying a whole lot of other stuff.
That's where I fail.
I had one of those sand hourglass timer things that were like 2 minutes.
Egg timer.
I used to use those things at the front counter to make sure that I was like not spending enormous amounts of times with customers, which was a problem that I would have. And I'll say, "Oh, my time is up. I really got to get to grooming your dog." But I think that that's going to be a critical factor. And I think that if you practice on how to swiftly sell, which is, like just get to the point, present the point, embellish the point, and sell it or don't and move on. I think that's going to be a critical thing.
On that note, I like to have a board with the holiday specials, like you do in a restaurant, and you can point to it.
Yeah, I like the menu idea too. I used to do that. And if your salon has a receptionist, what you might do, have the receptionist sell the add-ons and give him or her a cut of the profits. And you can do that with the whole staff. If you give a 2% cut, staff are going to do more selling than if it's just taking time out of their grooming. So it has to be an incentive for the staff to take the time to sell the add-on. But those are just a couple of things that I thought about it in regards to that.
I'm an all-inclusive model. I do just one price for whatever. So if I'm adding something in, it better not be taking me any extra time or costing me anything when I'm doing an add-on, because I'm not going to sell add-ons. I don't have time. I have stories to tell and jokes to write and dogs to groom and people to placate. So I don't want to spend my time selling. I'm not a good salesman anyway in that respect. So I tend to lean towards looking to the Christmas tip season. And it's been good so far, but it's definitely something that I enjoy. I'm talking up my potential continuing education so that people know what their money goes to, or in my case, actually a trip down to the amusement parks, because everyone likes to support me on those adventures as well. And that's coming up. So I'm sharing that stuff. And instead of add-ons, I kind of go for hoping that the Christmas tips are going to be good. So yeah. What do you like next? What's your next choice? Or should I do it?
Yeah, you take a turn.
I guess you could probably officially put me in the I'm a fan of Daryl Connor camp, because every single week I'm like, oh, I really like Daryl's article. Well, I really like Daryl's article again. I thought it was very useful tips. It's 4 tips on how to make your grooming life easier. And I really thought that they were valuable tips. And let's just talk about them real quick. And the first one is make gradual adjustments in the grooming. And this is one that I am an expert on. I get handed a dog from somebody, like I have a friend in Bellingham who sent me a really neat little Havanese named Sully. And when the dog arrived and I looked at the first groom that was done by my friend Cass, I went, she's hand scissoring those legs. Oh my God, I can't do that. That's just the worst for me. I just pick away at it and I make them too short, and all these excuses running through my head at how I cannot do that groom the way she did. So I very slowly have taken away the fluffy legs and kind of evened them out a little bit so I can do the groom better. And I'm not sure they ever noticed. They love the way he's groomed. They send me a thank you message every time after the grooming. So I think I'm okay because I did it so gradually. Actually, what I did is I made a mistake on one of the legs and I had to take it down. They never noticed. I know. But over the years, when we're trying to get people to brush at home and encourage that, and I have always said that I would rather adjust the haircut so you don't have to brush. I know you have more things in your life that you want to do other than sitting here and brushing your dog every day. So I will shorten a haircut very slowly, just a little bit, and a little bit. Maybe I shorten the jacket and leave the legs long, and then the next time I even it up a little bit. But those gradual adjustments have made it so that my client base is tailored to my ability. And it makes it far less stressful that I'm not biting off more than I can chew or extra stress. So I think that was a great tip. The next tip she has is to think outside the box. And I think you're an expert at that. Ways to do things in a different way that will help you achieve the goal. So I think that's great advice from everyone. Barbara's, my favorite of hers is using the client to help with the cats. That's an out-of-the-box solution.
See, that's in my box. That was a requirement for me. I got to have somebody here that the cat trusts to kind of create the mood. And then, those cats, sometimes it seemed like they couldn't tell whose hands were doing what. I love doing cats that way, but it seems to be an out-of-the-box thing for everybody else. And it was just like a natural thing. Well, I had Yvonne as an assistant then, and she just said, I won't help you with any cats.
Oh, really? Thanks.
I should have said,
don't let the door hit you in the behind.
But I didn't. There's several times I could have said that.
So her third tip was pre-book your clients. I am a huge proponent of that one.
Yeah, I think that's a tip number one. I mean, I think it's going to make such a difference whether you go crazy or not. I used to tell little white lies like you might not have an appointment if you don't, like I hate to be the meanie, but we're really booking up.
And it's scary to start doing that. If you mention it and they say no and you let them go out the door. What I do is I make their next appointment after they've set a pattern of a few appointments, so you know what their regular appointment space is. Then you just give them the next appointment on a card and you say, hey, I'm getting busy, just like you said. If this doesn't work for you, call and let me know. Otherwise, let's just make this appointment now, and then it's already said and done. And I've never had anyone argue with that. I do keep a few loosey-goosies so that I can fill spots with cancellations and people that don't get done as regularly. But every single appointment gets the next appointment at appointment time. And in secret, my Groomer software has them repeatedly booked out 30 appointments. So, I mean, way out ahead. So I know where they're going to be. If I'm planning a vacation 2 months from now, I know where my standing appointments fall that way. But they don't know I have them booked out until the end of the pet's life. I just keep that one to myself. And the last thing that is, of course, always valuable is continuing education. Invest in continuing education. And Barbara and I were talking about before we came on how important continuing to learn is as you age and how exciting life can be when you're learning new stuff, and not to forget that you're capable of learning new stuff. You can teach old dogs new tricks. Barbara and I are both living examples of it. Kudos to Daryl. She writes a mean article. I loved it. We want to welcome Randy and Cheryl Lowe from Precision Sharp and invite you to check out their website where you can see their newest precise cut shear called Lynx. It's a patented design featuring a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it and lock it into position to get your best groom on. Check it out at precisionsharp.com.
I also want to acknowledge the article on the boss versus the inspirational teacher.
Right, boss versus leader.
Yeah, boss versus leader. And, like what I noticed is that I intended to act like an inspiration, a leader. And I often had people working for me that were used to having a boss. Or I would act like a leader, and then if I had to make a decision like a boss, there would be like a freaking uprising.
Totally.
And then there was my weakest link, becoming their friend.
Oh, yeah. We're a small industry with small shops.
But it was back again, it was my life.
Yes.
And I just didn't want to be so impersonal in that huge portion that was my life.
Yep, I get it.
And having that business reduced other social things. Although I'll tell you, for a couple of decades, I had a double life where I worked during the day as a groomer, and then at night I was a musician. And that had its good and bad.
Yeah. I have a hard time with not blurring that friend line as well. When I was promoted in my previous career, not just other jobs I've had, but I had a career before this, and I was in an import corporation, and they took me from a warehouse worker to becoming an executive. And they actually pulled me into the office and sat me down and said, you can't hang out with your friends in the warehouse anymore because you're no longer a warehouse worker. We need you to be an executive. We need you to act like an executive, and you need to cut the ties. And I thought that was really harsh. Looking back, I completely understand it now, why I couldn't be that person that I was before, because all of a sudden I was paid way more than they were, and I was way more responsible for things than just the person who was ringing people up in the warehouse. And I think that I am a boss with leader tendencies. I really am structured, and I like to have people follow the structure, and routine is important to me. But I find that when things aren't going the way I want, I can't just go and reprimand people. I just show them by action what I would like it to be like, and I hope that they can follow my lead or whatever. So I'm kind of a weird mix.
I'm not a bossy boss. I'm just not built that way. I like to be clear about expectations. I like to do a good job of training. And then I like people to take responsibility for themselves. And it generally works pretty well. Anyway, I liked that article in concept, but what was lacking was examples. It was too much AI and not enough grooming shit, you know?
We're in an interesting age right now where we're just getting the introduction to AI. We don't know how to use it. Like every picture on the internet, you have to look at it. Is there hair on it or not? Is it cut out in the background? Does that hand go backwards because it's from a different picture? You've got to analyze every single bit of information because so much of it is fake right now, is generated. Like the song that I'm going to make up for our first appointment. Which is going to be cool. I haven't done it yet, but I'm working on it. I'm writing a song, then AI is going to write the melody for us, and we'll have a little bit of a stinger for us that's made for us that I've written the words to, but I can't write a melody if my life depended on it. So we've just got to figure out where this AI thing is going to fit into our lives. And I have friends who are very reluctant. Oh, we don't want this. This is horrible. And I keep reminding them that that genie is not going back in the bottle, that it's not going. We're not going to go backwards from here, and either embrace it and learn how to use it, or you're going to get left behind like the old people when we were young. They were really old. People now, when they're old, they're not really old anymore because they're still active and their brains still work and they still have interactions and they still give back to their communities. But they will alienate themselves if they don't get on the AI is here to stay bandwagon. So there, I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
I think that's true. I think AI is here to stay, and I think everybody has to find their own relationship with it. But I mean, I can remember where I was against email.
Boy, that seems like a decade or two ago.
Hey, I'm not going there. Expect you want to email? You want to mail me? You mail me. Call me up. What do you mean it's email shit? Oh boy, I just worked that real quick. And having the first at the Groomers Lounge email group, that broke me of that resistance. I've had a lot of funny resistances in my life. But wait a minute, I'm not quite finished with this issue yet. So I get drawn by the advertisement. Did you check out that app for intake? That it's really interesting. It's one of the under new things.
I looked at it briefly, but I didn't really look into it.
I looked into it. In fact, I contacted them and I kind of introduced myself as a half of a very important podcast. I mean, I asked them, how do you know that groomers going to be able to do the style that, like, how do you adjust for individual abilities and stylistic differences? I'm just curious as to how that can fly without a little bit more individualization. I wanted to try it on. I want to see, like, can I pretend to be the customer and see what I'll get, and what about mixed breeds? And so I had some questions and I sent them an email asking that, and we'll see what happens. But I think here again, I'm just going to take a soft position because this might be the beginning of something. And I think there is a value for helping some people have better, clearer communication. It's a medium.
Especially going forward.
Yeah, it's a way of communicating with customers if you're not good at communicating. I'm good at communicating. You're good at communicating. I'm not perfect, but for the most part, the communication with me is pretty effective. And I don't know that I would need to do that, but I would like to see the styles that they come up with, and I would like to see it work. And they say we can connect it with your groomer software. And like if you make these adjustments, for example, you would have what your little progression looks like and what the dog is that she last accepted.
I think it's tricky in all of the ways you say it's tricky. And for me, as a person who worked at a vet hospital where I did not always get the opportunity to check in my own dogs,
Oh
boy,
yeah.
is that a subjective thing. Checking in dogs and how the style is and what questions you ask so that you can understand what the client needs. It's such a nuanced dance back and forth between you and the client. And the puppy cut. Oh, I want a puppy cut. And I say, well, what in your mind? What do you think of when you think of a puppy cut? And you don't get that back and forth.
See, that's what that app does. It gives you a visual, it comes up with a visual of what the customer has said, and you can say, this is what that would look like. And they would say, oh, that's not what I meant. I meant more like a teddy bear, you know? I mean, that's what it's an intermediate.
So it makes a physical representation of what you're describing in the haircut.
Yeah, it gives a visual representation of what the client is asking for.
Okay.
So it's an intermediate in between you and the client. I don't know. I There was a point where I had photographs of my grooming, and people could go through the photographs and,
Yep.
oh, I want him to look like that. Okay, so it's like that, but it's like an AI generated photo album.
Yeah, I like it.
Now the question is, how do you make sure that you're suggesting grooms that the groomers can achieve?
Right, both on the dog and or with the skill.
Yeah. So, like there's that. I'm for this.
I think it sounds good.
Yeah, I think it has potential. Oh, and so another thing, Cosmo bathing system. They had a great ad where they say froth to the moon or something. Like, I don't know, it was like frothing. So since I've become more accepting of frothing, I was inclined to look at the Cosmo bathing system. And I looked, and it's freaking tanks.
Yeah.
Each product needs a tank. No, yeah, no, that's ugh. I don't care that they're stainless and they don't grow bugs and everything, but ugh. I didn't like the tanks. Oh, let's take a look. Oh, never mind. That was so that was that.
I'm not a fan of the shampoo delivery system. I'm definitely a fan of the bathing beauty recirculator type system more for me
Yeah,
because I've got 14 different shampoos in my trailer and I cannot live with limiting my choices there. I really like the choices.
yeah, I can't limit my choices either. There are other systems out there, so we need to take a look. Then finally, I actually took a closer look at the English setter tutorial
I did too.
because I haven't had much tutoring of uh, the setters. And I did some setter grooming, and I think I did all right. But I thought it was helpful in most ways. Pictures 11 and 12 were a little confusing for me. And the idea of using thinners on the edge of the ears made me cringe. I can't see doing that. And I wanted to add, be sure on these sporting breeds, be sure to ask owners about the whiskers. Do you want whiskers off?
I don't take whiskers off except for standard poodles that have a clean face. I never take whiskers anymore. Or a cocker. I do on cockers if there's a need to, but if there's really not a need to, I'll leave them now. I used to cut off all the whiskers off my horse. Now I understand more about how whiskers function and what the function is with the horse. I would never do that.
If your English setter is basically a couch potato that goes to the dog park, I don't think you really need whiskers. I think whiskers are very healthy as dogs age and lose sight.
Yeah.
Because then their sensory mechanism is an input that's needed. But if the dog doesn't have a need for sensory input around the mouth, I'm a show dog person.
Yes, we disagree on this too. All
Yes,
right.
we disagree. God damn it. Take it off. Smooth that face. I want that line.
I'm doing more natural on the whisker situation.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool.
There's a million ways to groom.
So you see, even though we went into this issue saying it was kind of a meh issue, we got some real value from it. And we're grateful to Groomer for bringing that to groomers and not suing us.
I personally get something out of discussing it with you, even though we're not like reading the article out to everybody, but we're putting our opinions on. They're good topics. It's fun to read it. I love the pictures. I'm all on board. I did want to mention one more article myself, and that's the one about taking a good picture. And I can't stress enough how helpful photography is in assessing your own grooming. And she has some tips on how to take a good picture, how to clean your background up, and all that stuff. And with all the new AI programs, you can make super cool holiday pictures for your clients with your pictures you take on your table. Again, I mean, back in the day, well, I can't because I'm in a fog bank in there, but most people have the opportunity to take some cool pictures and turn them into neat holiday pictures.
Even some not perfect pictures. I used to really just love to take a picture of the finished dog on the table, looking happy, and sending that along with their pickup notice. We're done, and this is what he looks like. If they were mopey about photography, I pass.
All right. Well, I think this was a fun episode, and I'm with you. I didn't think much of it, and then we talk about it, and we learn more, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so. I think it's a good thing.
As a listener, I would like to hear us talk about it, so that's what I'm saying.
Next week, I'm going to talk a bunch about Korean beauty.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Korean beauty comes to Barbara Bird.
We're going Christmas caroling, folks. I'm so excited. I'll put a picture up if we get a good one.
Have a happy time.
Thank you, Barbara. Thanks for listening. Happy grooming, everyone. See you next time on the Groom Pod. Bye now.
Take care of yourselves because we love you.